Sounds really weird saying it, but this is season 2. Crazy, right? We're back. Another season of 3 Beats Later. It's myself, Education, Cheeky CP, Peso Earth Tone. So we are back. This week we have something really cool for you. We took some time off. We relaxed. And we all stayed socially distant and safe. But we came back with some heat this week, right? So we had a challenge that P made up last week of the year that called Trappy New Year. So everybody had to come with a trap beat for the new year. So before we get into the beats for this week, I want to introduce or at least showcase one of our sponsors. So we have a sponsor, which is Fine Wine Enterprises. They will be providing the beverages for myself for this show. Now I'm showing you this right here. This is like a grown-up's playhouse right here. Like it's like a juice pack, but it's alcohol. Like it doesn't get better than that, right? So I'm going to show you the website real quick. And when I do, I want you to just check it out. And after you see what's on this website, I want you to go and I want you to purchase some because I will be telling you exactly how it tastes. And the website is going to be Fine Wine Enterprises. So I am pulling it up for you right now. Or finewineenterprises.net. This is based out of Atlanta,
You got
Georgia.
some right now, man?
What is that?
You got some with you right now? You're sipping on?
Yeah, I got some with me right now. I'm gonna take a sip of it. I'm gonna share
sipping on some wine. Yo, honestly, that wine it looks great. Like I showed the packaging to my wife. She's like, "So can we get some of that?" Like right now, there's a lot of wine being consumed at the Earth Tone residence.
Nice.
Particularly in these COVID times. Wife and I have been consuming a lot of stuff.
Now I haven't tasted this yet. I have not tasted this yet.
I would love. Oh, so pop it off. Let's see.
Let's do it.
Right. So I'm gonna taste it after I show the site.
Let's do a toast.
I'm gonna show it after I do the site. So here's the site: finewineenterprises.net. So this is the site. That's the owner. Her name is Sarah.
What's up, Sarah?
And so she has lots and lots of things. She is a mixologist, a wine connoisseur, a signature cocktail creator. Check out the site, all types of stuff, and especially if you're in that Georgia area because it's local to you, you can get it right away. And they also do ship, so check it out. This is definitely one of an amazing things that you should taste right here. Now, this specific one I haven't tasted yet, so I'm going to taste this one right now. And
what kind is it? Tell us which flavor.
I have watermelon, strawberry, and mango.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing. We're going to do our toast. And I'm going to take the sip. So hold on, let me open it up real quick. Now, it does come sealed. So for your protection, and safety. So everybody ready to do the toast?
Yep. Toast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome
back. Happy New Year.
Trappy New Year.
Yo. Yeah.
Yes? Oh, man, that's going to go quick. Look at that.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't finish it in one sip.
Listen.
It's like reminds me of the Capri Suns when they used to like squeeze them.
That's exactly what I
squeeze the
felt
death
like,
out of them,
like
trying to get every little drop out of the Capri Sun.
That's what I felt like, but it was like the grown-up version of the Capri Sun. So,
what's up?
So yeah, definitely check out Fine Wine Enterprises. This will be an official sponsor for education during this whole season. So be prepared to hear a lot about it, a lot of different flavors, a lot of different taste testing going on right here on the show. So I'm done kicking it. Corey's going to break down how the show goes, and then we're going to kick it off with whoever's going first.
All right, perfect. So welcome back, everybody. Trappy New Year. We didn't really have
New Year.
A wheel spin this time, but we thought let's kick off the year and let's make some trap. So we haven't really done that all last year. We wanted to just bring you some 808s, basically. So
we've experimented with trap sounds.
Yes,
and this is the year that I actually accepted trap into my heart. I want to say that in previous years, I just never really, I don't know, I was never really that crazy about the whole trap music movement. I guess you can just call me an old head, just liking, traditional hip hop. But now
You said it.
I like the elevated trap. I like the alternative trap. I like where trap is going. And then there's other artists who really opened me up. Like I really like Juice World, for instance. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like I really got into his shit. So, I guess this old guy could dust himself off and try out with the young boys is up to. But yeah, I fuck with it heavy now. Actually what I do, I guess I should save this for when we do the beat breakdown. So let's just let Corey keep talking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So we're gonna be quick with this though, because we actually have a special guest artist that's gonna come on. So that's why you don't see the challenge wheel next to me or behind my head, is because we are in the midst of creating a completely brand new list of challenges. But today what we're doing is we're bringing on a really dope artist and lyricist. And he's actually going to tell us about a beat that he's had in his head. He started playing around with like a looper, like loop station tool to kind of build out part of the beat that he had in his head, but he wants us to take a stab at what he has in his head. So he's basically going to just tell us what he's feeling, what the vibe is, and then that will be the challenge this week. So all the hosts will get a chance to basically make a beat for an artist. And then
First time
next week,
ever.
yes.
Never done this before.
That's right. We had to start the new year right. So then when he comes on next week, he's going to listen to the beats that we made and he's just going to give us feedback. So you never know what's going to happen from there. I can't wait for him to jump on because he's really sick. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump into it. We're going to play 3 trap beats. We're going to show you how we made those beats. And then we're going to invite the artist Reese on. So here we go. Who wants to go first? I could always go first if that's cool with everybody else.
Core, I think I want you to go first. Just want to take a quick interlude while you go in. So
all right, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen. Trappy New Year.
Trappy New Year.
Here we go. Sorry, I think Zoom is acting up on me. As soon as I shut Zoom down, like my computer is working perfectly. And then now that I have Zoom running right now, it's just acting stupid again. So it might be my internet or something. But if I get choppy, apologies. Don't blame me. Blame Zoom. All right.
As long as your beat is hot, we want you to get choppy.
Can you see my screen right now or no? Yeah. Okay, everybody mute your engines. I took it into the lane that I've been really vibing with recently. So this is a trap beat, but it's a little bit of a mix. So here we go. Here we go. you get the point. So I'm gonna break it down for you. So again, this is episode 24, Trappy New Year. We made trap beats. I actually mixed it up quite a bit. So I've been listening to a lot of Bad Bunny, and you're gonna hear a lot of he basically is a trap artist, and he definitely has that blend of reggaeton in there, obviously, but Latin trap. There it is. Someone coined the phrase Trapatino. So Trapatino. So that's kind of what I'm going with right here. And so really quick, there's really just kind of like 4 elements to this beat, but really the key to the whole beat is I broke out the cuatro again. So there's a Puerto Rican instrument. It's a folk instrument called the cuatro, and it sounds super dope because it just has that acoustic sounding guitar type of feel, but you can tell right away that it's not an acoustic guitar. So really everything revolved around that riff that you heard right in the beginning. And I just looped that riff, and what that riff is doing is it's just kind of outlining really 3 different chords. So nothing crazy going on there. It's just 2 minor chords, and it kind of turns around. The last chord is a major chord. So I played around, had this riff idea in my head, wrote the whole beat against that. And then the atmosphere that you'll hear, again, this is kind of cliche trap stuff that's going on, which you hear me inflect in some of the other beats that I write, is the reverse sounds. So a really cool loop is going on with the reverse sounds. Really all I'm doing is I'm playing the same chords, and I took the audio, bounced it down, and then I chopped it and reversed it. That's it. Flipped it and reversed it. The only other thing that's, what's that? I didn't hear you. Are you muted still? E said something. Uh-oh. Look at him. Look at him. All right. Okay, so you got the riff, you got the reverse sounds, and then the other thing that's going on here is a little bit of ambience. You'll hear me a lot use these types of noises. So that's just kind of synth stuff supporting the same chords. And then after that, really, I just built a trap beat. You have 2 main things going on. One is your typical 808, really crazy hi-hats, and a trap snare that's like mixed with a clap. That comprises the trap part of it, which I'll play right now. So nothing wild going on, just the 808 is kind of the bass line. And where you mix it with the reggaeton is what you'll hear next, which is basically just bringing in a reggaeton beat over that same rhythm. I mean, with the same song, basically. So here. And then the cuatro sounds really cool soloed, just playing out those same chords. So you got 2 different feels. You got the dancey kind of trap thing going on with the cuatro riff. And then when it breaks down and you hear the reggaeton part, I just played straight chords straight through. So nothing crazy, but I really had fun making this. The riff is really, really fun. So that's it. That's how I made the beat.
Are we still doing the Q&A or?
Yeah. Hit me if you got anything outstanding. Just
the boom, pop, pop, boom, pop, pop.
Yo.
Yeah, I like how you kind of took trap and you really did the whole, as you said, Trapatino.
Trapatino.
Just because it is a cool direction to take. And that, like I said, when I was trying to give my little spiel earlier, I was basically saying like trap, really all it is just a set of drums and a style of hip hop.
Yeah.
And
trap is more of a feeling, right? I used to think it was like a certain type of song, but it's really not.
No, it's really not. You can interpret it very different ways, especially like the elevated trap and the alternate trap that is coming out right now. It's you can pretty much take it wherever you kind of want to. So
yeah, a lot of halftime feel too. We kind of went through that whole thing. This is halftime also.
And you played that guitar again, right, Core?
Oh, come on, man. What are you talking over here? I got the quattro right next to me.
The quattro. So yeah, you mentioned the quattro.
You played the
4
quattro
strings.
Chico times.
So what's crazy about the Quattro is it actually has 10 total strings.
Oh, so that's a deceptive
That's why
name,
they call
then.
it Quattro, because it's 4.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Right? But check this out. It doesn't make any sense. So it has 2 strings at the top that are the same note, and that repeats all the way down. So it's repeating the same note throughout the whole guitar. But it's really cool. It's really small, and it sounds pretty awesome.
Knew you played that.
Anyways, all right. Any other questions?
No, sir.
No.
All right.
Dope. Loving it.
I will stop sharing.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go, man. Okay. I guess I'll go.
Headphone switch and muting my engine.
Are you going? Oh, I'm going. Oh, you had switching your headphones so you can hear. Gotcha. All right. Well, mute your engines, guys. This one is going to be Hello Fuego. So you want to do it that way? I'm just going to play it. Mute up your engines, guys.
Do your intro for the video.
Corey.
Yeah.
Mute up your engine.
Mute. Hang on.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this is not muted. This is Chicky, mute your engine. Corey, mute up. There we go. All right, so we are going to get into this right now. So this track is I called it Dracaris. And if you know, then you know.
Dracaris.
So this track, I called it what I called it because I called it that because I wanted to. But I also called it that because it is a sample of the Game of Thrones intro theme song. But what I did was I chopped it and I reversed the sample. So I'm gonna just play how that would sound to you typically. So here's the that sample. So that is it. That is really.
Sorry, I'm not going to wait for the Q&A. I'm going to interrupt right now. Did you sample? What part of the Game of Thrones did you sample? Did you okay, you don't have to play the sample, but is it music or is it like crowd sound or whatever that you manipulate?
A sample. So this is all actual from the theme song, but it's backwards. I reversed the sample.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll shut up now. I just wanted to.
no, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I reversed the sample, and so I chopped these pieces in there, and then so what I did was, because it was trap, I took it into a trap vein, but I didn't want to use typical trap drums, so I used my new little technique of production where I just take me a drum loop and I'll chop it up and I'll make it something different. So, oh, not that. Sorry, it's more so down here. So here we are right here. These two are my and I also use my cymatics. So cymatics, man, always comes through in the clutch when I want to make something trappy. So I'm gonna play right here, just these two joints. So this is the bass kick, I mean the kick drum. I bring it all together right here with the cymatics. So then I have my bass. Normally I use moto bass, but today I wanted to use a sub bass that had additional bass included for the tone, because actually the sample doesn't have any kind of progression or guidance. So I wanted to use something to kind of guide that in the direction I needed to go in. So this is where that came in from right here. So that was that. And pretty much I had me some Spitfire Audio Labs. I had the choir and I had the strings. So this is what you're gonna hear here. Just the accents of the beat. So I'm gonna play the strings first. So I mirrored that with the chord, with the choir. So I played the same thing with the choir. Oh,
Dracarys.
That's my track for the week. I'll open it up to the guys.
Very dope. Very, very dope. You know, I mean, listen, I'm a sucker for anything Game of Thrones, but not only, but I also really like how you use the vocal sample, but not only, Daenerys, but also the actual crowd burning. I also think that's like a subtle shade towards me and Corey. Like you're trying to, light us a flame, but whatever. I'll just
say anything like that.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
It's not even my style.
But I would call this medieval trap, and
Yeah.
that's dope. You know what I mean? Like both of you guys did something different with trap, which is really dope, because that was kind of what I was trying to get to about the versatility of the subgenre.
He did like a challenge within a challenge there.
It sounds like he's building up to a shameless plug. Both of you did something different with the trap, and then he's taking a sip of his beer. So go ahead, Pete. It's your turn, Pete.
No shameless plug. I was giving you props, bro.
I appreciate it, but now I'm anticipating what's your next.
Corey, you got anything else to contribute, or?
I was gonna say I love the chords. I love what you did here. This is sick, man. And I was saying, like, you had a challenge within a challenge just by hitting Game of Thrones. You hit a spot that you knew we all love. Everybody here loves Game of Thrones.
I figured it was a comeback, you know what I mean? And it was the second season. I figured that was when Daenerys really kind of like took on, became who she was gonna be, or started to become who she was becoming. when we saw like she was like actually the Dragon Queen at that point at the end of the season 2. So that really was like, you know what, we're coming back season 2. I gotta make some fire. And I was like, you know what, fire, Dracarys, let's make some dope shit. So
Oh shit. That's nice, man.
All right, so it's P. It's your time, man.
All right, P.
Yes, yes, yes. Here we go.
Do we get a headphone change too?
Unfortunately,
Headphone
going-
change.
I don't trust your feet if you don't change your headphones.
a headphone change. You will get one.
He said he doesn't trust your beat unless there's a headphone change. there it goes. Didn't you wait? So you got a whole new computer, but you don't have new headphones. That's what
I'm not because I'm not using the computer yet, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
That's
okay.
the problem.
It's just
All
chilling. At the
right,
bench. It's on the
so
bench.
here we go.
That's that Buffalo Bill shit.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, mute your engines, please. My name is Piso Earth Tone, and this is All the Lang Sasuke for the Trappy New Year trap beat. Let's go. Headphone switch.
In my brain and they're caving in. Outside those walls, there's an ocean. I can't swim, especially with all these waves.
Sorry, guys. This happens all the time. Every
False
single
start.
time. My audio.
False start.
Hold on one sec.
I gotta say though, crispy. Everything sounds crispy. That sample sounds crispy. What's going on? Your level's just crazy high. He's doing live
Yeah.
mixing right now.
Fixed it.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but I think I'm good now. Let me see. Yep, we're good. All right. Here I go. Once again, my name is Piso Earth Tone, and this is Trappy New Year. Trappy New Year. All right. Take 2.
I can't swim, especially with all these waves. I'm walking in pride, trying to solve my problem. I ain't finding vibe. Moonlight Sonata. I tried it at night, but you see the pills in my eyes. Tell her that I'm high, but she don't seem surprised.
Commas after comma, if it's money, I'm coming. I got bands, Mr. Drummond. Fuck the hoes that you loving. Rock designers, that's nothing. Private jet, man, that's none. You never did this shit, so my nigga start front. Latin lady with me, she ain't even legal. I let her drive the Benz, cause she match my ego. Derek G the sack. I'm ballin' like rolling, catching wind with the top down. I feel like I'm ballin'.
Jump up and away, I've been. Feel the walls in my brain and they're caving in. Outside those walls, there's an ocean. I can't swim, especially with all these waves. I'm walking in pride, trying to solve my problem. I ain't finding vibe. Moonlight Sonata. I tried it at night, but you see the pills in my eyes. Tell her that I'm high, but she don't seem surprised.
I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances, but this a nigga with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips, in fact I'm down at this. You say with my boo babe, tastes like too-late for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Western girl with my face stuff. Ooh, that pussy good, once you sit it on my face plus. I get way too ready once you let me feel the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down, we playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. This out your per diem, you just got to hate it phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still the greatest phone.
Jump up and away, I've been. Feel the
now or see me later. Ain't no capping over here, I'm about to be the hater. I'm a mediator, lady, I could be your mayor. Every week I'm making heat, we call it 3 beats later. Pay up, you can see me now or see me later. Yeah, ain't no capping over here, I'm about to be the hater. Yeah, I'm a mediator, lady, I could be your mayor. Every week I'm making heat, we call it 3 beats later.
I'm a problem, I ain't finding vibe. Moonlight Sonata. I tried it tonight, but you see the pills in my heart. I tell her that I'm high, but she don't seem surprised.
3 beats later. 3 beats later. 3 beats later. 3 beats later.
I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting.
First of all,
New theme song.
yes, exactly. That is exactly how the show's gonna start. Every single week now. Thank you, P. Thank you, P.
Y'all silly.
Yourself. No, it's serious. It's happening.
Yo, P raps. I didn't know P raps. You never
Either.
rap.
I didn't know.
I wasn't P rapping.
All right. Show us what you did.
So real quick, the trap beat. I tried to do a bunch of different things, and none of it was really working, or at least not the way I wanted it to. And I just listened to like a lot of trap records, and one of my favorite ones is the new Kanye one with the Baby and who else is on it? 2 Chainz. And that one, it's just a flute. It's like a 4-note flute for 8 bars, and then they just lower an octave, and that's it for the whole record. And I'm just like, really? There's nothing else to it? And I'm like, nope, there's nothing else to it. And I heard another Chance the Rapper record that I like a lot. Same thing. Just like, and I'm like, dang, so it really is that simple. So I was like, you know what? Let me try not to try to reinvent the wheel. Let me just go straight at the challenge. So first thing I did was I just tried to get that instrument, and also because I don't have too many instruments right now. I was a little bit limited. So I just started off with that little, and then just changing the octave. Initially, I had added a bunch of different sounds and things like that, but it just kind of worked that way just by itself. But the drums are I did a lot more to the drums. So with the drums, it was actually a lot more complicated. And I feel like maybe when it comes to trap, that's where a lot of the complexity actually comes into, is just how you program your drums. I use 2 different hi-hats. I use, I think, 4 snares. It might be either 3 different snares or 4 different snares. And then I had the 808 drum sound. Also, I had a trap bell. It was kind of a lot, and I tried to make my pattern kind of long, so I had lots of variety within the pattern. Oh, and the hey chant too. Then I switched it up a little bit. You know, that's a very old school drummer boy. And then I just decided to use a bunch of really popular acapellas. I took a hook from Juice WRLD, as I mentioned. I dig his style. Then, of course, I put a verse from Kendrick, which is basically cheating. But what happened was, when I was searching for acapellas, the Juice WRLD and the Kendrick BPM lined up exactly. But they both have the same BPM, and so it just worked perfectly. And then then I found a Juicy J who had the same BPM too. I didn't have to alter any BPMs. All three of these songs have the same BPM. So, well, actually, I lied. The Kendrick song is double the BPM of the Juice World song, but it just works out that way. And so all three of these acapellas lined up perfectly on this beat. I didn't have to change anything. I didn't initially set out to use that many different acapellas, but it just was whatever. And then I was just rapping to it. I did a little rap. Shout out to 3 Beats Later. There's actually a hidden verse here somewhere, where it's kind of like I was kind of going at people, but I was like, you know what, man, let me just bring in the year nice and shout out my brethren. So
Yo, you have you have diss tracks.
maybe those verses will find another song. In the comic books, Batman has a contingency plan for every member of the Justice League just in case they ever go rogue. So he knows how to take down the Flash, he knows how to take down Superman, but he keeps it to himself, but it's just in case. You got to be prepared. But so anyway, that's
I'm
it.
starting to notice a trend here. Every time you sip your beer, it's either after or right before you say some subliminally attacking type stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a trend here. He took 2 sips all night.
Look at Pete. Pete, this is great, man. This is sick. This is like I would say in the last month I've been hearing some new influences in some of the beats that you've been playing, and this is just an example of like where you're taking it creatively, which I really, really like.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the flow is sick. Thank you for not flaming me on your flow. But yeah, this is amazing. E, if you don't have any other comments, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up. We got a special guest.
I just want to make sure that we get this beat immediately so we can put it in the intro.
Exactly.
All of the clips.
New theme song. All right. Well, we have a great artist who just joined us. So Rhys, are you with us? Can you hear us?
Yo, I can hear you.
Yo,
Rhys,
brother.
What's good, man?
What up, bro?
What's up, y'all?
What's goody?
I love hearing y'all talk. I love hearing producers talk about like the intricacies of the beat.
Yo. So let me ask you a question, man. The name I'm seeing right here. Source Semitic Kid. Please tell me what that is, bro.
I had a mushroom trip probably in like 2013, like 2 days before I turned 30. And yeah, it was, I mean, I don't have enough time to talk about the shit, but like I had an experience as the source, with the source, whatever you want to call it. And I was like a 3 or 4-year-old in a like preschool on a spaceship. And ever since then, it was like, I'm the Source Academy kid. But I was still, going by Rhyson Hall and rapping and everything. So it just kind of evolved. And eventually, when we started putting new stuff out, I went by the Source Academy kid.
I love it. That's dope.
Wow.
And you're active in that whole scene and culture right now, right, Rhys? I mean, I know we had a kind of like a side conversation about some of the conversations you have on Clubhouse around that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to dig into any of that, but we wanted to kind of learn about you as an artist, just to introduce you to our audience.
Yeah, I've been so I made a film. Well, shit, y'all gonna be seeing this soon. Source Academy kid. So I made a film called This World is Strange, and then I made another film called American Psychonaut. It's like experimental. I was learning how to use found footage and found sound, and combine them with other like fictional narrative or whatever. And I made 2 films about my psychedelic experiences, and mixed in with like the clinical studies that was happening at the same time, mixed in with just being Black, and just used a bunch of. I tried to keep the clips as Black as possible, so it's mad references, you know what I mean, from '90s movies and whatnot. But anyway, I did that. I got it screened at the Psychedelic Science Conference in 2017.
Oh, wow.
So like I applied for a grant. They flew me out there. I screened the film. I performed. Like, and the performance was just I screened the film, and it was technical difficulties, and it's like I was trying to hold the people there as long as possible. So I just did a little whatever like freestyle crowd interaction. More people came in, they sat and watched the film, and then afterwards there was like a line to talk to me afterwards, and I had like stickers at the time. I hadn't had the whole thing fleshed out, but I knew enough to have some stickers. So from there, I just been tapping in with different psychedelic societies across the country. I'm connected with the New York Psychedelic Society primarily, and we do integration circles. So we were doing integration circles. If anybody that's watching has tripped, or if any of y'all have tripped, integration seems to be like the most important part. So like you had this crazy experience, but then how do you integrate that shit into your everyday life? Like what did it teach you, and how do you change your habits and all that shit? So we were holding integration circles before COVID, in person in New York, and then COVID hit. So we've been doing them once a month. But there's other psychedelic societies and workshops and integrationists that we've been cool with. So like, yeah, I got real deep into that space.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
As first of all, dope to have you on the show. How do you find microdosing in terms of psychedelics, and how that relates to creativity as an artist, like making music? The reason I ask this is because I think that for me, I've tripped a few times, just real talk. But like with shrooms and everything, that's one experience. But in terms of how it relates to music and music creation, I feel like a microdose is something that is not, you don't really trip all the way, but it can aid in the creation of music. And in terms of beat making, there's been nights where I've definitely gone off on some tangents, but through microdosing, is there talk of that in the community as well?
It's like yes. Short answer, yes. So what I've noticed is there's like three segments. There's like people who are interested in microdosing, and that could be people who have done larger trips, but just like, you know what I mean, like the every other day, every 3 days, taking the edge off, and exactly what you're talking about, being able to get into that flow state, especially in creative spaces, but especially if you're doing something that you don't feel like doing. So you just, so like, I hear a lot of conversation about that. I hear a lot of conversations in the middle dose ground, I guess you would call it, from like a gram to maybe 5 of people who are doing those doses. Some people are moving around. Some people are marrying them with whatever spiritual work that you're doing, whatever type of breathing techniques that you're doing, ancestral shit. And then there's like the mega dosers. There's people that are doing 20 to 40 grams. And they're more so like connected with martial arts. This is a dude named Kalindi E. If you ever want to look him up, he just died. He passed to COVID, but he was on some 30 and 40 gram trip shit, coming back with all sorts of insights and information. He had mastered all different types of African martial arts. When people were like, are there martial arts in Africa? He went over there and was like, yeah, but they call them their warrior guilds. So he went to different communities and they taught him their shit. So like that's the segment. But like I do microdose. I mean, I definitely microdose. I haven't microdosed and made music as much as I thought I would, for whatever reason. But like the times that I did, like, yeah, it was, the flow state, like you're just in a more creative space. I wouldn't even say creative. I'm just in a less tense space. I'm in a way less tense space, so I'm not like judging myself and overthinking and shit when I'm creating it. What's it been like? So like for you, it's been, what has it been like for you? Do you get in that space easier?
I think it does for me what like weed probably used to do. But I'm also finding a lot of success with the CBD sector. And just but for multiple different reasons, which I'm very interested in as well. But I think Corey was trying to say something.
No, keep going.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like when you're talking about, sometimes it's not about stimulating creativity. Sometimes it's about reducing stress and just feeling more comfortable with yourself and with your surroundings. And I know E. I'm sure this is something you could also speak about too, in terms of how you help people and connect with a lot of people, and what you do. And I'm sure I'm sure that there's ways to do this without these substances, which I feel like everyone kind of has to find their own path in a way. And I don't know if there's anything you want to say
Well,
about that.
honestly, I mean, I've been researching it. I have not done anything of the sort, but I've been researching it and looking into just different things in different ways, and like how our body produces similar things like this, and we also, but um, I've learned, recently about the trips and stuff like that, and a lot of people who do use it for creativity or just use it to tap into higher self, or just tap into different things they didn't know about themselves. And for me, I'm not even a baby when it comes to this. I'm like less than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an embryo when it comes to this concept, because this is something I've never experienced firsthand. It's all just been like just watching, videos, research, things like that. So I'm just learning from you guys.
He's on a different vibration altogether. I hear that 808 in your background, man.
No, you know what? Honestly, for me, man, I really yeah, that's the guy making music next door. But me personally, I feel like I live on a trip, without using anything, and it's a very interesting place to be. Like a lot of the ways that people describe um what they do, what they feel, it's like I live in that space. So it's interesting to me when people talk about it, because it's like I'm almost there, and I can almost relate, but I've never done anything to get
Mm.
there.
I've heard Alex talk about it a couple times, if not on our show, just in separate conversations. But then also, yeah, P, you've sampled some of those dudes that kind of talk about that in some of your beats on a bunch of our episodes.
Yeah, I try to simulate that vibe, at least musically. And like I said, some of those beats were made probably in those states. So the what did we say? The safe state or the free state, the
Oh,
flow
I've heard
state,
people
flow
call it the
state.
flow state.
Flow
The
Yeah.
state,
flow
yeah.
state,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the theta
Reese, I
waves.
got a question for you, man.
Yo.
How do we view the films that you created? Is
Oh,
there
Yeah,
like
good
a
call.
way?
Good
Oh,
call.
Obviously, the
word,
one you
word.
said isn't out yet, but how do we check out the one that you screened in 2017?
So it's still on my go to my Instagram, the link in the bio. You could put your email in and Vimeo, however I set it up. I can't remember, but it'll send you a link right there. But I'm about to take that down in like a couple of days because I'm doing a screening in February online. Um, so you can come there. The ticket is like $5, but I'm bundling it. So like there's a soundtrack that goes with it. There's a different price point for that. If you want to get one of the cups, I'll send you some tea. I'm doing a microdose with me campaign from now until the event. So like every week I microdose and then I'll do whatever, I do. Like I'll take spiritual baths, I'll do qigong, I'll do whatever. But then when I come out of it, if I have something that I feel like I want to share on I'm a scientist, I'm sharing it with other scientists. I want y'all to share back with me like what y'all been doing. I'll record it and then I'm gonna put it out on Instagram. So it's just like leading up to the event. And then the day of the event, if you get a cup, it's gonna have a cup, it's gonna have some tea, it'll have some stickers in it. And you gotta get your own shrooms, but I'll have like my mushroom tea recipe in there. So like you make the tea,
Yeah,
sip,
link me with that recipe,
I
please.
got you. For sure.
um, I wanted to segue into another aspect as well. Let's talk about the music. I think that we've all been connected to you in some shape, form, or fashion. Musically or whatever. We all go back, and I've been a fan of your music. Definitely. We saw the show and everything, and just as a pillar of independent hip hop, and just as being an MC, really, at the end of the day, as a lyricist. So let's just talk briefly about your musical journey and where you are now today, and if you have anything coming out, or have anything outside of the film stuff, which I'm very interested in seeing as well.
Word. Thank you.
Hmm.
I think since Griselda blew up and it's like just seeing people that we knew, I mean, you know what I mean? Or at least just seen around in the scene
Right.
in different ways. And now like thinking about Buffalo hip hop in
Mhm.
that spectrum, shit is
Mhm.
crazy. It's bugging me out. You know what I mean? So like, when you talk about the journey, yeah, right now I'm still rocking with Fee. Fee is he's making beats right now, so the
Shout out
majority
Grand
of the
Fee.
shit, the dark skin Jermaine. His name is dark skin Jermaine
Oh
now.
shoot.
He's in the transition too.
Now did he
So
get that from the big line?
he did, yeah.
That's so dope.
And I
That's
said, I'm
so
like, you're
dope.
not dark skinned. He said, neither is light skinned
Right, that's
Keisha.
why I'm like, Rich. Yo, that's dope. That's dope.
So yeah, so let's talk about Grand Fee and your the music you've done with him over the years.
Word. Okay, so for people who don't know, I'm in a group with a beat maker and an MC named Grand Fee from the group We Stole the Show. We've been rocking since 2005, let's say around then. And various like name changes and iterations. We're working on Deep Thinker Records at that time. Moved on from them, moved to New York. Well, shit, before we moved to New York, we worked with a rock band. We came out with an album with them. Moved to New York. We had a blog where we were interviewing people behind the scenes, and doing shows, throwing our own events. Eventually, got priced out really of New York, and came back home. But then the crazy shit about coming home and the whole generational thing is that like I'm meeting people who listened to me in high school, but now they're like 20 something and they're, who they are in the scene. And so like there's that exchange of energy where I'm just like, I just made it a point to be like, I'm coming around because like what I'm getting from y'all is y'all insight from y'all age and y'all energy. You know what I'm saying? And like whatever I can give you from what I've experienced so that y'all don't like make the same mistakes, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And like it just paid back. It paid like, you don't know what it's gonna look like, but it came back consistently. To the point now where we still tied in with a lot of the people who are making waves. As far as like sonically, it went from deep thinker, you know what I mean, more so boom bap stuff to the rock stuff, to like kind of trying to find a sound really in New York. Me beginning to sing, I sung when I was a kid. I was afraid, point blank. And so when I got to New York, I really just had to like lock in.
That's some of my favorite shit when I just hear you kind of, I don't know if it's just straight freestyling, but when you're singing like on your Instagram, I think I was like watching like 3 videos where you're just kind of singing and also rapping, and you had like some footage going on in the background, and that stuff is dope too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like practice. It's like a practice for me to just practice not only singing but just like having people see me sing.
Yeah,
and get comfortable with that shit. So like, and people have been responding to it well. So thank you. Like, it's showing me just keep doing the shit.
Yeah, man, keep doing it. It's like I have to, for quite some time I was in a in a band down here in the DC area, and I got kind of pushed into background singing, and then slowly that became in some ways kind of like being like a the actual vocalist for a certain song or like the lead. And that whole transition it's always kind of it's weird, especially if you're not traditionally a singer. But yeah, man, keep it up, man. The stuff is nice.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question, Reese, real quick. Do you find that once you started singing and exploring or allowing that side of yourself to come out, do you find that your overall creativity increased?
Yes, because my bad. It did. It increased because from there, like I was talking to Corey, I ended up getting a loop pedal recently. But prior to getting the loop pedal, I was just walking around in New York and songs was just coming to mind. Like melodies was coming, beats was coming, you know what I mean? Bass lines and shit. And I didn't really know what to do with it other than just record it on my phone, on the voice recorder or whatever. And so like some of the new stuff from like the soundtrack from the album, a couple of the joints are beats from producers. And I think like 3 or 4 of them are just some shit that I came up with and then layered, took it to the studio. Some of them, they where they just mastered exactly what I beatbox basically. And one of them, I went in. Drea came in. She played keys on it. Elijah Hooks, if y'all know him from GCR, he arranged all the shit, and we just sat down and like built it. And that's really where I'm excited to do that shit more often. I got like 100 of those joints, but I just haven't taken the time to build them out.
That's dope. The reason I asked that question is because I find that as a creative, when we block off a part of us, the language, we're not really speaking a full language. It's like not knowing certain parts of your basic, language. So I really wanted to ask that question because, like you said, you didn't explore for a while because you were kind of afraid of whatever you were afraid of. And as you open that door to yourself, it's like unlimited energy just flows. So I just wanted to know if that was kind of what happened to you, because that kind of happened to me as well. I used to put myself in a box, like, okay, I can only do such and such. And then, when I open that door, when I take those shackles off, so to speak, it was like, yo, I could do whatever comes to my mind.
And time for the 3 Beats Later commercial, which that's what our show has kind of been opening up for us from a producer angle. Is we're forced to make stuff, every week that is something that we might not have typically made the prior week. Like you just heard us make trap beats. Like that's not necessarily like the music that we would go and make regularly. So just by like flexing new muscles that, you didn't know that you had, that kind of just helps those creative juices flow. And then you turn around and you look and you finally get a 16 bars from P, which we've been asking him to do for about at least 20 episodes.
It wasn't 16, it was like 4 bars.
When you wait for 16 bars for 12 years, it feels like a whole album, though. You got to do the equation, man. It's like 5 times something, right?
P is like the rapper on our show, and he's dropped
air quotes.
No, I'm saying because like everybody has like a he's the guitar player and he's the the songwriter, R&B dude, and this is the rapper. And we got like 2 verses from P, and this is episode 24.
Hence the air quotes, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good segue. What we're gonna do is, so normally what we do is we spin a wheel, it will land on something completely different, right? It'll land on, sample Michael Jackson, sample different artists or whatever, or make a beat in this style, make an Afro beats track, which we did in one of those episodes. But since this is the first time that we have, a lyricist on, what we want to do is we want to make the beat that you have in your head. So you are really going to give us the challenge for this week. And I got the 3BL looper beat that you sent to me, so I could share my screen. But what we're going to create is all based upon the information that you give us right now in this little segment here. So what I could do is I can share my screen. And if you want me to, I can play the loop beat, or if you just wanted to describe it, we could go that way. It's whatever makes the most sense.
Nah, play it, because
Okay.
I know there's something extra I wanted to tell you, but I can't.
Okay. So let me. I'm gonna
So
play the
tell
beat,
me
and then Reese
about
is gonna fill in
Looper.
The looper?
Yeah, I never used that production program before. I'm not familiar with it. Is it
Oh
dog?
no, it's an actual. So I went to an event in Toronto, and there was a beatboxing competition, and all the beatboxers were using this like 5-track looper.
Oh, it's like a loop pedal.
Yeah. Hold on, not a pedal. It's I got it right here. Get back to the light.
Oh. I'm thinking looper is like Fruity Loops or something like that.
It's this.
Oh, that's what's up.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna play that. What you created for us to use as the foundation of the beat that we're gonna make this week, and then you fill in the gaps, and then we're gonna ask you questions so that we get as much info as possible. So hopefully you can hear this. Let me know. Can you hear this really quick? My computer's acting weird, so there's gonna be a lag. So give me 1 second before it actually plays. It is really lagging. I think Zoom is messing me up today. Okay, I just hit play, so hang on. Come on.
But while that happens, I have a question. Is this the source kid?
Can you hear?
Yep.
It don't do much more than that.
That's all I needed to play.
I said it doesn't do much more than that.
Okay. So
How did you make that noise? It sounds like a cat or something like that.
Yeah. So like, okay, on this joint. So if I was to, I have an idea. I go wow wow. I'll press this wow wow.
It's
It'll
like a
loop for couple of
vocoder.
bars. Boom. But I could put a. You have A, B, and C. There's probably like maybe 10 to 15 filters you can put on it.
Huh.
So I just, scan through until I get to the one I like.
It's pretty gnarly. Dope.
Yeah, I like this joint a lot.
So tell us about that loop. When did that hit you?
I don't know. When I'm at my best, I'll make time to do that like every day. And I'll just, whatever is in my mind, I turn the looper on and go with it. If it's trash, it's trash. If it's not, it's not. You know what I mean? And sometimes it gets into this like hypnotic thing. And once it gets there, I try not to do too much. Like, cause my mind is like, let's just make it simple.
Yeah.
You could rap over it and then eventually bring it to musicians.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off the round of questions so we can get more info here.
Okay.
So did you so that's P gave a good description, a bunch of cats. So I hear a little bit of you have like a little bit of like a beat that you're kind of beatboxing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the part that you envision being the actual drums to the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My question surrounds the melody.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of I guess instrument do you envision this track using as like the main sound of it?
It felt like some type of synth keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And or guitar. I guess it depended on like what type of filter I was going through.
Did you so this kind of just came to you. If you were thinking this is pretend that you come to us and we're making a custom beat for you or something like that, or any producer, do you have an end, like if you were to think of the totally finished polished track from whatever the hottest producer that you like right now, what are there other influences that come to mind that you can attach to this idea in terms of like what a finished product would sound like?
Other sonic influences, other types of motherfucking instruments, or
I would say all of the above, but also what I was trying to get at is like tracks that you can think of today that you can point
that's
to.
like similar.
Yeah, or that's inspiration for why that kind of came to mind.
I don't think there's nothing in particular. It's Chance the Rapper is coming to mind right now. He had a song. Damn, I didn't even think about this when I made it, but like he had a song on his last album, the joint that like everybody said was trash, but it was one joint on there it was just fun, and I think like the energy of this is a little bit much more up tempo. When I listen to it, like I can hear how you might want to sit back into it, and groove with it, but it makes me start to there's more of a bounce to it, more of a like up tempo energy, a fun energy, which I feel like he brings even when he's on trappier shit.
Okay. E, do you have any questions?
I do. I actually do. So my first question is when you have this in your brain, whatever you're creating with this, do you have like, because I know that you have some tracks where you don't like actual drums, kick, snare, kind of like vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just go over just like a melody or a pattern. Is this kind of one of those tracks where you feel it doesn't need all that bottom heavy stuff, or you kind of want it to be more of the instrumental side?
I think if it had, I like bottom heavy stuff. I wouldn't want it. What's the words? Me and Fee was just making a beat the other day, and I really like the drums. Sometimes when the bottom heavy stuff comes in, it makes you sit back into it a little more than the energy that I'm trying to bring. So like if it did have 808s or something like into it, I would want it to help continue to propel.
Okay. So you don't want the beat to overpower this. You want it to kind of be an assistant to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to think of more questions because I'm trying to shake as much info out before we given this task.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I've seen this guy go over industry instrumentals. I've seen this dude go over just a sound. I've seen this dude go a cappella, go over just a clap. Like I've seen this. So I mean, and that's why I'm like, man, this could go anywhere with this creative mind, man. So I just want to make sure that was my big question, because I hear where you at with this, and I've heard you go over something like just similar to this kind of a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like no additional necessary. Like you provide the rest of the energy for the track. So,
what about what is some new stuff that you've been listening to that you've been trying to explore around? Like it may not necessarily be this track, you know, but what I've been finding, I would say over the last year and a half is like just by even having like an inspiration in something that I want to try to make from a production sense, just by giving myself a chance to go in that direction, it's kind of like allowed me to create something I never knew I would be able to create. So is there anything that you're listening to now that is just like what you consider to be like the future?
Damn, that's a big question. Not really. I mean, okay, I'll tell you what, like my nephew put me on to this kid, J1. I'm not saying that's what I have in mind. I think J.I. I'm fucking old. This kid, J.I. So like, that's the newest stuff that I've heard. That's not necessarily where I'm at or I feel like it's futuristic.
Right.
SZA put out a couple of joints where she was singing in the bed on Instagram. That was pretty cool. 2 Chainz, the Tony joint, I liked a lot from his last album.
Yeah.
Besides that, I haven't really been listening to new shit.
Okay.
So I can't really say.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of other questions to ask. Anybody?
Do you want to play a couple more seconds of it again, just so I can hear it?
Let me play a little bit more. Here we go. We're gonna listen to it again. You know I'm gonna sample that, right?
This makes me want to trip.
No, it is a trip. This is a trip. Like so, this is actually if you didn't want to trip yourself, like if you didn't want to go through the process, play this joint and you will be like, oh shoot, this is what that feels like. Because you start to see this song create itself in front of you as you listen to like, okay, that's there, that's like the way Kanye described the music train.
I just entered the flow state.
Yo, the only other person I would say, this cat, Zach Fox, he's mad silly. He's got a song with Fabo. I've been jumping on that a lot. Like, I like the energy of that shit.
Okay. So, all right. So this is great. What we're going to do now is we have 6 days, 7 days, whatever, how many days that is. Come back next week, same time. And we are going to show you the beats that we created with everything that we just talked about right now. So you get to hear 3 different versions of what you just described to us. And we're going to, not necessarily like follow rules, but we're just going to get creative with it ourselves too. So you might actually
definitely not following any rules.
you might hear something completely wild. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it will be a direct inspiration of this conversation. So
would it help? I got like I think that might be like 3 stems long or whatever. Do y'all want me to send you that, or are you good with this?
Yeah, send
Send
it.
that.
Send what you
Send that,
got.
okay.
Yeah. If that's what comprises that loop, yeah, absolutely. So this is
One last question:
oh.
Are you okay with a change in the BPM, or were you locked in at that rhythm?
No, do whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Amazing. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's it for the show. We got our directions from Reese. We're about to make 3 beats based upon his beat idea, and we're gonna come back next week. And Reese is gonna join us again, and he's gonna listen to the creations that we made. E, you got any last words for us?
Man, I'm gonna just say this. It's a brand new year, brand new vibe, brand new energy. Just stay positive. Don't let anything outside get inside. You know, the world is always going to be as it is. It's always going to be providing you with an abundance of chaos and turmoil. And if you subscribe to that, you will never be happy. So find the happiness, find the peace inside, and never go outside. Never let anything external impact the internal, and you'll be all right.
Look at that. Words of wisdom to sign us off. So thanks a lot, Reese.
Thanks.
We went a little overtime, but we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks. We'll see you next week, and everybody else, peace.
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 Peace.